facts. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
And here we are on Wednesday, Rockin' Wednesdays. And it's Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. Just got a message from a morning, Michelle. It's actually morning for you this time because now you're in California. So now you're an hour behind me. Good to see you. Glad you made it safe. But happy Christmas Eve, everybody. I just got a message from, for the first time I heard a page in the airport for a friend of Bill W. I was stuck in security line at the time, but when I got to the phone, I picked up and they were already gone. So one of my friends was saying that he was in the airport and heard somebody say, is anybody here a friend of Bill W? See how this works? See? Everywhere we go, there we are. We're there. Isn't that cool? All right, is it kind of cool that we have secret codes? Pick up for Bill W. Pick up for Bill W. We all know what that means, don't we? And it doesn't matter if you've been in the program 2 weeks, 2 years, 20 years, 200 years. You know what it means. And we can be there for each other. In this case, they didn't get to the phone in time. Somebody else probably picked up. Somebody else probably already grabbed it. When it comes to 12-step work, you better move fast. Or somebody else come along and grab it. Somebody like me or Michelle, right? So, hope you're having a good day. Isn't it weird how the brain thinks that it wants to have certain things, right? It's like, okay, it's the holidays, so we're going to be in a bad mood. And I've made the decision that this year I'm just not going to be in a bad mood. I'm just not. It's just like the decision that I made to stay sober this morning, just like the decision that I made to turn my will and my life over the care of God. My decisions actually have sway in my own brain now, and it's kind of nice, right? So let's talk about that a little bit, about the repetitiveness of the program, right? It has been driven into my head, right? We're looking for muscle memory here. This is the word that I was looking for a few days ago, right? Because we are without defense against the first drink. So I need some muscle memory, man. And I need muscle memory consistently, okay? For me, every day. And I tell you that I could probably go 2-3 days without going to a meeting. I'd probably pull it off if I was in that situation. I still got plenty of people in my life. I do this, but I'm also not willing to really necessarily take that chance. Yeah. Yesterday I wasn't able to go to my home group. Yay. I wasn't there. Nobody needed me. Nobody needed anything. It was great. Great job. It makes me so happy. Yay, they don't need me. They want me. See, big difference. Big difference. So that made me happy. I went and told my story on Grouch and the Brainstorm. That'll be out Sunday for anybody that's interested. A lot of you have already really have heard my story. I didn't mix it up much more. So I covered some other things. It took me about 35 minutes. I covered parts of it. I feel like I could have done a better job at the same time. I did ask God for what he wanted, right? And so I went with that. I went with what God wanted, and we will see what happens. Why does that say 24%? Okay, good. All right. So consistency is the key to consistent sobriety, right? So hit those meetings. So what I do, I went to a meeting. I went to a different meeting yesterday. Right. Not too many local online options. So I think a person running it was from Colorado. I don't know where this one was based out of, but yeah, it's a good meeting. Weird. It's weird going to other meetings now. Right. You get used to your home group and the way that it's run. All right. All right. You know what time it is. You know what time? Well, Michelle says, yeah, I just missed 2 days in a row during travel with family. That's the first time in well over, yeah, and it was well over a year, and it was circumstantial, right? But she was able to do that because she was being consistent, right? And we'll probably see you there today. She's back today, right? And I hope you're doing well, Michelle. It's good to see you. So, you know what time it is. It is not just 10:55. It is time for Dion's Daily Funnies. Before I forgot to mention this yesterday. Today will be the last day that I will be going live until New Year's, until the 1st of January. I'm taking a break for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want the topic to be presented the day before. So I'm going to be a day ahead of myself when it comes to the Daily Trudge. I want to do more things. I'm not sure what I want to do. I just know that I need to update it. And I've never taken a break from the Daily Trudge. I've been doing it every day for 8 years. I think I've missed a total of a week from being sick, but it's never gone more than one day. It has never gone more than one day without me going live. So, this is also, I got to do this for myself. We got to freshen this back up, right? I feel like even though we talk about we need to do a lot of repetitiveness, I need to move into an area where this at least makes a little bit of money to start covering my bills. Right now, that's not going to affect the Daily Trudge. The Daily Trudge will always be free. If I have a speaker who is AA, it will always be free. That stuff will always be free. But I'm really good at interviewing. So I'm going to utilize that. So I may be taking down trudgingtogether.org. It's a cost. I tell you, I'm broke. Like broke. So I have to budget some things. So with that being said, I'm not asking for money on this. No. If you want to send me money at Trudging Together at Venmo because you want to donate and help out, I ain't going to turn it down, but I ain't going to ask. All right. That was me asking. All right. So strike that. I'm not going to edit it out. I don't know how to do that. I suck at it. So we're just gonna go ahead and move on and let's get to Dion's Daily Funnies. Did you hear about the circus fire? Man, it was intense. I only do that because I don't know. In my mind, it sounds like I'm saying it right, but that doesn't mean that I actually am. How do you catch a squirrel? Climb a tree and act like a nut. Wouldn't be too hard for us, right? Wouldn't be too tough for us to, well, maybe I can act like a nut without much of a problem. Climbing a tree, on the other hand, I bet I could still pull it off. I bet I could. Yeah. All right. Did you hear about the guy who invented lifesavers? Man, they say he made a mint. Yeah. Right. I told my wife to embrace her mistakes. So she gave me a hug. Yeah. Ouch. Outs, Billy. Why don't eggs tell jokes? Because they might crack up. They might crack up. All right. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host of the Daily Trudge. Yep. That's about it. I could give you a whole long list of what I am and the different titles I think I have, but that's not going to do much good. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. The rewatch. I know some a couple of people, God-centered recovery, man. I've gotten more comments off of that, and they're comments that I don't totally understand because they refer to the Bible and stuff. So I'm learning here. All right. What does it say in the big book? It says in the big book that we have to figure out where religious people are correct. And what I love about Roger, he isn't in your face. He isn't prophesizing, but he knows his stuff. He's very wise when it comes to this. And he's gotten very good after 28 years of being able to match these things for us. So a lot of wisdom from that man. Thank you, Roger, for just being a part of and helping us out. None of these people ask for money. They don't ask for anything. They just ask for time. These are the people that we need. We need them. Absolutely. They're the givers, the old timers. Have you thanked an old timer lately? All right. So, yeah. Part of the reason I brought up that I'm broke is because people are asking me for money. I can tell you something. I don't have money. If I had money, I would open up a treatment center or something for everybody to go to. I would. If I had enough money to like buy this house, I would do that. All right. And it would be free. Or it'd be Medicaid only. Yeah. Yeah. I would. I'd do it. There's a reason why God hasn't put that in my life though. But according to all astrology this year, I'm supposed to make a lot of money this year. Do they mean money or am I going to have success? Because those two don't go together for me. Success is something I see success a little different. I'm not materialistic, although I'm out of a lot of little things like Tums because we broke. And I haven't asked my wife to grab them. All right, we're doing today's daily reflection. So we're going to go to we're going to do a little bit of repeating. I'm going to go ahead and read this through. I'm not going to comment on it, and then we're going to go to page 130, and that's where I'll do the comments. That's where I'll put the. But I decided to do this today because we're all going. Tomorrow's Christmas. Today's Christmas Eve. And what we want is the best possible attitude that we can muster. And it's not always easy, but you can do it. Okay. So today we're going to talk a little bit about setting yourself up to succeed instead of setting ourselves up to fail. Yeah. I'm going to tell you how to do it. Right, real quick. There's one quick answer. Keep your damn mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. All right. So, a sane and happy usefulness. We have come to believe he'd like us to keep our head in the clouds with him, but that our feet ought to be firmly planted on earth. That is where our fellow travelers are, and that is where our work must be done. These are the realities for us. We have found nothing incompatible between a powerful spiritual experience and a life of sane and happy usefulness. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 130. All prayer and meditation in the world will not help me unless they are accompanied by actions. I would absolutely agree with that. Give me 1 second here. Christmas is going on. They're being kind of loud. So I shut the door. You won't be able to hear it because I spent all of my money on this microphone. Actually, I didn't. I think it was like $120. But Yeti microphones are really good about keeping the sound right here where the microphone is at. So it's when I hear other things going on, my brain always likes to know what else is going on because it thinks it's going to miss out. So I'm easily distracted. Okay. So it's not them, it's me. So you can pray and meditate all you want, but without action, it is, well, a good talk. That's all it is. Okay. Practicing the principles in all my affairs shows me the care that God takes in all parts of my life. God appears in my world when I move aside and allow him to step in. Yes. Now, it's kind of like this. God's kind of like Dracula, right? He won't come in unless he's invited. Yeah. Dracula cannot enter your home unless yet head vampires cannot enter your home unless you ask them first. That's part of the rules, right? So invite him in. Okay. But he ain't gonna do it unless you invite. God, I need you. I need you in my life. There we go. That's all it needs. It doesn't need it. My higher power doesn't require these and thous and all this other stuff. It just, that, and I don't know how, but thankfully it's not required, right? So we're gonna be doing a little bit of repeating here, but this time Dion has comments. Imagine that. Wouldn't be much of a show if I didn't, right? If I just sat here and read, I don't know that many. Although I have thought about sitting down and reading the big book and not saying anything just so people can have an audio version. But there's already plenty of those. So I don't need to redo that. Just yet. Well, it's in my voice. Yeah. Because I'm a little too weird. And I'll start making voices. I'll do Bill's story and do Bill's voice and Ebby's voice. And so maybe I ought to. Maybe I turn it into a cartoon. Turn Bill's story into a cartoon. Okay, anyway. All right. Now we're just yeah. All right. There is a movie out about Bill. It is non-sanctioned. I can tell you that right now. The only reason they put it out was to make money. In fact, I asked them what their intentions were and they blocked me. They didn't like that question. So, all right. Those of us who have spent much time in the world of spiritual make-believe, right? Did you watch Mr. Rogers growing up? Yeah. I didn't. I'm just using a reference. We did. I lived in a world of make-believe when I was drinking. Most of what I was thinking did not exist. My brain made it up. So, I lived in a world of make-believe. Have eventually seen the childishness of it. Right? What were we talking about? Well, I started drinking at 13, and that's where I kind of was emotionally and mentally for a long time. And you can't act like you're 13 when you're 23, 33, 43. No, you cannot. People will tell you to grow up, and I did. It was my failure to grow up. At the same time, I had to grow up very, very quickly. Yeah. I I had a childhood, but it wasn't as long as everybody else's. No. I didn't get to I didn't get to join in all the reindeer games. And it's sad, right? But here I am at 55. I'm a grandpa and I get to play. I'm the fun grandpa. My grandkids love being around me. Unless they're in trouble. But even then, they don't like I'll get on them about something, but I don't yell or, we work it out. And then when we're done, I'm like, you don't need to feel guilty or bad or anything. We just need to change. Yeah. Just about change. Okay, Grandpa. Yeah. It's pretty cool stuff, man. It's pretty nice being a good example. It's also kind of weird because I was the example of what you do not do for a very long time. All right. The dream world has been replaced by a great sense of purpose, accompanied by a growing consciousness of the power of God in our lives. Yeah. Right. So, since I was talking about grandkids, right? Often so my two girls, the Kira's daughters, we'll just do that. It's just easier. All right. Now they are 9 and 7. If I got this wrong and they knew, I'd be in so much trouble. All right. A little bit younger, they can't watch themselves, but when they come over, they like to play with Orson. And what happens is they are given a sense of purpose. Their job is they feel, and we did not assign it, they feel like they need to watch Orson, right? And they act a little more adult-like because they have been given purpose. And they're very well behaved when they do that because they have to be a good example for Orson. It works out really, really well, right? But then they get that from their parents, and their parents get it from me. See how all of that rolls down. They say shit rolls downhill, but so does happiness, right? Probably wasn't the best example, and only my second swear word. Have you guys noticed that I've been cutting back on that? Did you notice? Because I just noticed the other day I did. I didn't do it on purpose. Just change. All right, we have come to believe he would like to keep our heads in the clouds with him, but that our feet firmly be planted on earth. Now, some might call this the pink cloud. And, I'm glad to say we come to believe because I want you to be in a good mood, but I don't like my heads in the clouds. I don't, because we like to keep our head because in our clouds with him, but he's also right here with me. I don't need my head in the clouds to see God. God is right here with me. He is here right now. Where two come together in my name, I will be there. That's it. Don't need much more. And why did that happen? Because I invited him in. Because before I started, I did my prayer. God, it's your show, your will, not mine. Be done. I invited him in. Okay? We have Michelle listening. We have me here. And God, there are 3 people here right now. So what they're saying is there's nothing wrong with a pink cloud. Absolutely. And it might last for months. But you better keep your feet firmly placed on the ground because when it ends, because this too shall pass, it will pass. You don't want to fall on your face, right? Because life is life, man. Pink clouds are not sustainable. Okay? Go try and sustain a cloud. Watch what happens. Ain't gonna happen. All right. That is where our fellow travelers are. That's where everybody else is. And that's where our work must be done. Right? And that is a matter of meeting others where they're at. These are the realities for us. We have found nothing incompatible between a powerful spiritual experience and a life of sane and happiness, happy usefulness. In fact, these things go hand in hand. Let's see here. One more suggestion, whether the family has spiritual convictions or not. We're just reading a part of the book here. They may do well to examine the principles by which the alcoholic member is trying to live. They can hardly fail to approve these simple principles, though the head of the house still fails somewhat in practicing them. Nothing will help the man who's off a spiritual tangent so much as a wife who adopts the same spiritual program, making better practical use of it. So we have other groups for the family, Al-Anon and Alateen. Little story here, when my mom got sober, I went to the Alateen. I went to Al-Anon or AA with her in the beginning. Then I found out that there was Alateen available also, which I think my mom already knew. I also went to the treatment uh, with my stepdad at the time. Um, go there and check on my mom. But I went to a lot of AA meetings with my mom down at the Dragon's Den, South Suburban Rec Center. I remember that place pretty well. All right. There was one day when she just wasn't doing too well. You guys know how it is in early sobriety. There was some day, you no mental defense against the first drink, and I saw her old behavior coming out. I saw it, even at a young child, but I was taught this, you know. And what I did is I literally picked her up with her purse and took her to the car, and I said, "Go to a fucking meeting, please." Of course, I was 12, so I didn't say the F word. I'm like, "Mom, please go to a meeting. I'm begging you to go to a meeting," and she did. Okay. Did that save her from drinking? I don't know, but I do know that it was the right answer. And the point of it is this: that when the family also joins in, then the alcoholic has a much better chance of staying sober. They do. Right. Now, my wife and my kids, they were definitely supportive of me getting sober. That doesn't mean that they wanted much to do with me for a few years. And that's not something I can really blame. Okay. I can't blame them for that. Now I have great relations with all of my children, all four of them. I have two biological and two bonus. Then I have 5 grandkids. Yeah. No, I'm just grandpa, right? I get to sit back and enjoy what is going on. I get to be a spectator. I don't have to control everything. I don't always have to tell my kids what to do, even though I want to. Yeah. Oh, all the time. I see stuff all the time. I want to say so. I can't. I got to keep my mouth shut. Because if I did nothing but go to them about their problems, they wouldn't want me. They'd be like, "Oh, there's Dad. He's just going to tell me about." Yeah, no. If I talked about spiritual stuff all the time, no, I try and meet them where they're at. Hey, did you guys see this video game? Did you see that video game? That's what I do with my son. Right? I'm like, did you check this one out? Right. They play different games than me, though. Some of them, right? Excuse me. So recovery isn't just about abstinence; it's about usefulness. We have to start feeling useful, and this is where service work. This is where service work is big. Service work is highly suggested. So I'm going to put it a different way, because I don't have to say it like the big book. I'm not required to. If you don't put service work in with your recovery, you ain't going to make it long. You're not. You won't. You cannot keep this precious gift unless you give it away. And the only way you can do that is service work. Even if it's just pouring coffee at meetings, that is service work. Maybe being a greeter. Read something from the big book. It is not that tough to do service work. Get out of yourself for a minute. Come on. Okay. So recovery is like a 3-legged stool. And if you take one leg out, you're on the floor. Okay. So before we were self-centered, we lived in chaos. Things were inconsistent. And we weren't consistent. Okay. And all I did was take. I did not contribute to life. Let's be honest. I didn't have anything to contribute. I had to become a person worth having. It's hard to hear. I say hard things. Hearing things from me is not always. I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, I understand I'm not the priority. Why are people taking that so hard? I understand I'm not the priority. I'm not taking offense to it. I'm just telling you, I understand I'm not the priority. I'm letting you off the hook. Maybe I need to phrase it differently. But to me, it's just the truth, right? But if I'm going to meet other people where they're at, I also kind of have to watch how I say things. Right. And that one seemed to me, it's just, you know, does it hurt a little bit? Yeah, sure it hurts a little bit, but I'm not the priority and I understand why. Or I'm not getting what I want. There we go. So probably the same thing. Yeah. But comes across because when I say it that way, I'm insinuating a requirement for guilt saying it that way. See? So we got to be careful how we say things too. Or at least I do. Yeah. Because I have this voice. So I could say the night what I could say the nice what I think is the nicest thing in the world, and it comes out much different. All right. So what do we mean by sane? It's clear thinking, less obsession, emotional balance, and the ability to act instead of react. We don't react anymore. What did I say at the beginning? Most of this is going to be keeping your darn mouth shut. Keep it shut. Okay. If you need to talk about it, wait for a little bit, talk to a closed mouth friend, talk to a sponsor, or maybe wait for therapy. Okay. Which means what? You're going to need to develop the skill of delayed gratification, not getting what you want at the present moment. Or as I like to say, it's not a priority. Hey, I can make fun of me. It's going to be easier to get through if I do. So, happy is not constant pleasure, it's a quiet contentment. Happiness and serenity tend to go hand in hand with me. And how do I get that? Service work, right? It's a dividend for doing something, it's a dividend of my actions. That's what happiness is, right? Why was I happy when I came on here? Because I just saw I saw that somebody tried to help somebody out, didn't quite work out, but it was a neat little story, right? One girl was coaching. Oh. So, all right, we're gonna start to wrap this up. So recovery gives us our lives back, then teaches us how to live them. So the reflective question today, where can I be useful without controlling the outcome? What a great question. All right. Be useful, but don't predict the outcome. You can plan the plan, but you cannot plan the result. Leave that to your higher power or just leave it alone because there's since there's consequences to every single action and not all consequences are bad. There are good consequences, my friends. Okay. That means every action that you have has a consequence to it. So make them good. Think about it a little bit. What are my intentions? Am I causing, will this comment cause more confusion than harmony? Because maybe that's what I'm going for. I used to do that, create some confusion. That way, I felt superior because, well, you just didn't quite understand. But really, what I was doing was just contradicting myself. All right. This is the best way to do service work. Do something for somebody else, and they don't even know it was you, and neither does anybody else. Which means you're not going to be able to talk about it. That's true humility, my friends. And it's a lot more possible than you think. Every time I go live, I help a bunch of people I don't even know. All right. So it's halfway there. They know, but I don't know who they are. I don't need to know who they are. This is humility. Somebody thought they'd be cute with me yesterday because I had said something on, because you know me, I like to stir the pot here and there. I just said your anger's showing. We're tired of your anger. It's just anger, right? So he's like, they do a lot of stuff in the community stuff. What do you do? I'm like, I just help put a detox in a crisis center. You? Yeah, and no more talk. Yeah, don't yeah, see, quit us we've got to stop assuming what other people are doing or not doing. Okay. Because I have my receipts. I'm not out here telling you to do something that I'm not doing. Right? All right. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I'll probably do one more a little bit later, depending on time. But if not, I will see you all on January 1st. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And keep